Okay, so while the cornbread is baking, I'm going to start making the things that we're going to mix into this cornbread. Now, typically, I'm chopping an onion right now. I like to put in sausage, mushrooms, onions, garlic, cranberries, but my kids like to have theirs without so many things in it. They like it with just the sausage and onions, so this is the batch that I'm going to be showing you right now. So it's just an easy dice of this onion pretty well. So this pan is already on and getting hot. You can hear it sizzle. Okay, so here we are, onion number 2, getting it all nicely diced. Okay, and so while those are cooking a little bit more, they smell so good. We really need to get a smell feature on these videos, don't we? They're so good. So now what I'm opening up is this fresh pork from grass-fed pigs. It's a local meat, very, very high quality, very delicious. And this is Italian sausage made at our market. And I'm going to show you a trick. I like ground sausage in this dish. And so I squeeze it until it starts to unravel. And I just squeeze it right out of the casing.
Awesome.
And right in. And I prefer to do this than to cook the sausage and then slice it. I think this just has a nicer texture in the stuffing. And now I'm just going to go through and make sure that I'm breaking this up. And now that I've got the meat in there, I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit more on this. I didn't want my onions to get too far cooked before I started this. Okay, we sizzle here. Getting this all cooked up. Okay, I'm going to show you a little trick that I did. You might have noticed before that I propped up part of my pan on a cutting board. And even if I'd been cooking on the stove, I could have tilted up my pan on something. What happened is without a lot of effort, all of the fat ran downhill and drained to the bottom. So now I'm going to take all of this sausage out. The fat has been drained without me putting any effort into it whatsoever. Our cornbread is finished, and I'll show you how simple it is to finish up this dish. Okay, we're switching spots here for a minute. Finn wants to show you how to cut the cornbread. He loves this part.
This is an easier way, and then you don't have to use a certain amount, and then you don't have to take any of it out. You just cut the cornbread into squares.
It doesn't matter if they're even or not, does it?
No. And then you just take the square out, you crumble it up, and then you can choose how much cornbread you use.
Do you want to do the crumbling?
No, thank you.
You want me to do the crumbling? Okay, we'll switch spots. We are about to put this stuffing together. And I have to tell you, this is not going inside of our turkey, but I just couldn't help but putting it in the bird. So look what I'm doing. The bird. This is my favorite dish of all time for putting in the stuffing that doesn't go in the bird. So I'm going to just dig out a couple of these pieces. Oh, Finn, you did a perfect job. You can see it's still steamy. Oh, this is perfect cornbread. Finn, this came out perfectly. I think our buttermilk trick worked. I cannot begin to tell you how fabulous this texture feels. Very, very nice. It's not too dry and crumbly. It obviously still crumbles because that's what cornbread does. Oh, this is good. Yay! Then do you want to do a little taste test? I'm going to pull a piece out for you. It's probably a little too hot. And before we're done, we're going to have you taste that so we can make sure that it was plenty good. So I'm just putting this directly into the container, the dish, for lack of a better word, that I'm going to serve it in tomorrow. And I will be baking it again then. Ooh, I just got a thumbs up from Finn over there who grabbed his piece of cornbread. How does it taste, sweetie?
Good.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Yum, yum. So I'm going to get it all set in this container, ready to be baked, and then tomorrow when we're ready to eat it, we will do a final pop it in the oven and bake it. Oh, I chopped up my sage, so I will just sprinkle that in. Not much. I had maybe 4 leaves. If I was measuring This isn't even half a teaspoon. So now I'm going to start putting in some of this sausage and onion, and you know, I may use more of it than I thought. And I'm going to stir it all up together. I'm going to kind of pack it down a little bit and see. I'm going to let it cool, then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. I will cover it. I'll probably put some saran wrap over it and then put its nice little lid on. And I'm going to leave this off till it cools a little bit more. But I think once this cools, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and then tomorrow before I bake it, I'm going to check for the wetness. If it feels moist, which I'm starting to think this actually may be fairly moist because my cornbread was so beautifully moist this time, then I will not add any stock to it. If it looks like it's a little on the dry side, I can add some chicken stock, you could add vegetable stock, and I'm just going to drizzle a little over until it has kind of a nice, dense feel. You certainly don't want it to be soggy, and then you just pop it in the oven. Everything is already cooked, so it's not a matter of baking anymore for cooking time, but just to heat it up before you serve it. And if you want to have a little crusty layer on top, you can do that or not. So there we go. That is our sausage cornbread stuffing, completely gluten-free.